Alrighty. Hi, everyone. So good morning and good night, maybe, because I see many of our guests joining into our webinar today from anywhere. So good morning and welcome to our webinar. So my name is Kylie Wu. I'm the partner manager for Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau at Atlassian, and I am the host of today's event. And in the face of AI disruption, teams that embrace a growth mindset will fare better than those who cling to the status quo. So seemingly overnight, artificial intelligence has become the subject of a whole lot of buzz and speculation, thanks in large part of text and image generating bots like OpenAI's ChatGPT and DALL-E. These emergent tools are already disrupting knowledge work jobs that only a decade ago were predicted to remain safe from technological takeover. Although AI didn't write this article, there may be a not so distant future in which many of us consume bot-crafted content without batting an eye. So today's webinar, we will be covering the largest trends in the AI and the intelligent tools. Our teams of experts will share their insights of the largest developments in the field of AI and showcase how we leveraging it to drive innovation and efficiency in Atlassian. So we will also introduce you to ChatGPT, which is a hot topic recently, right? Did you use ChatGPT? I think many of you guys did. So our powerful AI language model and show you how it can be used to power a range of applicants and workflows. So before we get started, let me share my screen. I have some very good news for everyone. So for those of you who attend today's webinar, you will get 10 free agents of Jira Service Management. So in just a second, there will be a live poll, and that you can choose if you want to use Jira Service Management for free. It's just 10 agents or no. I think like many of you guys want to try Jira Service Management. Just one reminder, this offer ends on the 31st of March, 2023. So it's about more than 20 days to go. So don't hesitate, just give it a try. Alrighty. So if you have finished the poll, thank you so much for filling out the form. And our team will get back to you via email for more details on how you can get the access to our Jira Service Management. Okay, so now let's get back to our exciting part with the first content in the morning. So if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box. We will try our best to answer your questions. But if your question isn't answered during the session, don't worry, we will get back to you after the session via emails. So for our first speakers, we will have Zhao Hui Wang, Eric, as our principal machine learning engineer at Atlassian, where he focuses on bringing machine learning and AI capabilities into Atlassian products. So previously, he obtained a PhD in applied math and worked as a quant at Wells Fargo and an applied scientist at Splunk. So today, Eric will share with you recent developments in AI and machine learning and the change it brings. So let's welcome Eric.
Hello, everyone. This is Zhao Hui Wang. Today, I'm going to talk about recent development in AI ML and the change. I'm currently a principal machine learning engineer at Atlassian. I'm in a team of Confluence Insights. So we are working on to bring machine learning capabilities to Confluence and other Atlassian products and improve user experience. So today's agenda, I will talk about these 5 focus areas. AI ML trends. So I will discuss the recent interesting developments in the field of AI machine learning, large language models and ChatGPT, models in general, and the fine-tuning and inference, that is about how do we put models in production, and finally, the changes we are facing. So for AI ML trends, I'll break up this subtopic into 3 parts. One is model, the other is data, and finally is infra. So on the model side, there is an increasing debate or heat around ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a kind of large language model. So we can look into more detail what is a large language model. So large language model generally takes text as input and text as output. So the word large here means that the model involves billions of parameters, and it is kind of a deep learning model that with many hidden layers. And the current ChatGPT model is based on the framework of GPT-3. It has 175 billion parameters. And GPT-4, which is going to appear soon, it has the parameter space of 100 trillion parameters. So in that sense, it is a really large model. Second topic is auto machine learning. So what is auto machine learning? So basically, traditionally when we do machine learning, we have a team of machine learning engineer or machine learning scientists or data scientists. We work on gather the data, define the business use case, and train a model and deploy it. So automatic machine learning basically means you have a codeless experience. You have some framework that you specify the data and the model you desire, and then you have a automatically dashboard or output to measure the model performance metric. So everything is in an automatic way. So that there's recent developments in auto ML. Another thing is multimodal ML. So multimodal ML means that traditionally when we take train a machine learning model, we have model inputs, right? We have usually the model inputs are uniform, meaning that either we have text input for visual computer vision, we have image as input. For NLP, we have natural language like text as input, right? And for some other task classification regression, we have like quantities as input, information from different sensors as input. Then from multimodal means, what multimodal means is we no longer have a uniform input. So for example, in this case, we have an image as one part of the input, and this input will go through a convolution neural net, which is designed like for this image data source. And we also have text as input along with the image. For example, where is the giraffe? Is a text input. So the text input will go through a bidirectional LSTM, and these two models will work together and feed to propose some feature space, and then feed into a LSTM, and then the output is the question answering behind the fence. So the giraffe is behind the fence here. For multimodal, we no longer have the uniform input. So for example, you in the medical world, we have the CT scan, we have a doctor's diagnosis. All these data sources will be inputted to this multimodal machine learning, and then the final answer is whether disease is identified or not. So this is a interesting topic for recent ML developments, which is multimodal. And similarly, we have uniform, ununiform model inputs, we may have ununiform model outputs, which is multitask learning. So basically, multitask learning is, for one input, and you have multiple outputs. So for example, your input is this image here, and you have hidden layers, deep learning layers for feature extraction. And for the final layer, which is the model input as your multi-models here, you have logistic regression, you have linear regression to perform different tasks. So for example, I can have a classification model to identify whether this is a female or male, or whether it's the race of this person, whether it's white, black. And we may have a linear regression, like try to predict the age of this person, etc. So all these different tasks can be performed with a single model input. And on the modeling side, another interesting front of work is bias and fairness. So basically, we have a lot of open source models, that pre-trained models we can use directly, but we want to examine that whether there is a bias or fairness presented in the model. Right, we have different model diagnostic tools, or ways to examine the model fairness capability. So yeah. And on the data front, so one interesting development is few-shot learning. Few-shot learning means that you have a pre-trained model trained on a large label data set. But in reality, when we take this pre-trained model, we want to fine-tune it with our own data set. It is sometimes very hard to obtain a large number of label data. So with this few-shot learning framework, we have this pre-trained model, and we have support data set. And this support data set is very small compared to the large label data set. So we fine-tune the model with this support data set, and then this fine-tuned model is able to to work on this new query data set, which is about all the birds. So this is another interesting area of few-shot learning. Another aspect of on the data side is data labeling. So we all know that it's to garbage in, garbage out for modeling. How do we obtain a really good model? It's through good quality data. So we have a lot of framework, or apps or developments in the labeling aspect. And finally, on the infra side, recent developments in cloud computing, which it's really at the front of machine learning. So for example, we can use cloud providers infrastructure to do all these kind of works. For example, this SageMaker supports all these different kind of ML frameworks, and we can specify the environment we need. We can specify like how many GPU, how many CPU, etc. To help the model training and the model inference. Database. So especially for large language models, we usually deal with higher dimensional embedding. And for embedding, we need to store those embeddings into some kind of database. Traditional, like a relational database, won't scale here because of the search time and the constraint in search time. But we have a specially designed vector database that can solve this search time problem blocker. So basically, vector database, it uses some kind of approximate nearest neighbor search algorithm to properly distribute your data. And when during search time, traditionally, we know when we search one item, we are usually searching linear time, order n. But with approximate nearest neighbor, we are able to search things in sublinear time, so order log n. So it's a big improvement in search time. So that's on the database side. There's some interesting developments. And thirdly, it's highly optimized computing. So we are dealing with models, deep learning models with billions of parameters. Then during inference time, how do we ensure that we have a fast model output? So when we input information into the model and the model outputs something, then how long it takes? We need to reduce the time involved in this process. So we have a specially designed, highly optimized model inference engine with NVIDIA Triton. So we it has the highly optimized GPU cluster with respect to the machine learning framework such as PyTorch. It uses parallel computing and matrix vector, optimized matrix vector production to reduce the latency and improve the model throughput. Another interesting area is the model repo. So, we have all these open source models, but there's no such unified framework to put all the models together. Hugging Face is really a good place. So for example, you can search, you can browse all the models that are public. So you can actually download and use these pre-trained models, and then you can fine tune it based on your data, and it's all from the same API. So Hugging Face make it really easy to interact with these public models, open source models. So large language model and ChatGPT. Large language models we already discussed involves a massive amount of text, and it's usually able to perform various tasks. For example, chatbots, language translation, so translate text from one language to another, text generation. So this is more around generative AI, generate new contents based on some prompt. Question answering, so you can ask some question and the answer will be automatically generated. Text summarization, so you have a large chunk of text and the model can summarize the text for you. And sentiment analysis. So ChatGPT is a kind of large language model. It's developed by OpenAI and is use deep learning to generate human-like text response to prompts. Let me bring up the playground. Okay, so for playground, let's look at this. This is the OpenAI playground, and this model Text DaVinci is the most sophisticated ChatGPT model. It can perform different kinds of tasks. For example, grammatical standard English. So basically, we can provide a prompt, correct this to standard English. She now went to the market, and output is she did not go to the market. Something like summarize a text. So you can generate a summarization based on the text input, and maybe Q&A. So you can generate answers based on your question, and even write a Python code. Okay, maybe this one. Yeah, so the corresponding Python code will be generated for you. So it has multiple use cases here for ChatGPT. So in terms of models, we talked about ChatGPT, but there are other types of large language models. For example, we have this kind of large language models. A lot of them are open source. For example, the T5 OPT models, they are all open source. And for OpenAI, you see the DaVinci model is here. And there are like 36 open source models. And different use cases or scenarios, for example, question answering, summarization, sentiment analysis, all these different use cases. And we have different metrics for different use cases. For example, if you look at summarization, CNN Daily Mail, which is the benchmark data set, and these are all the models available. And row 2 is the performance metric. So we see that TNLG, which is developed by Microsoft and NVIDIA, with 530 billion parameters, is performing better than ChatGPT, and etc. So yeah, these are all the models, and you see that some access is open, so you have all these open source public models, for example, GPT-J, etc. And OpenAI DaVinci model is limited, so it's only available with an API. And do we need large language models for everything? The answer maybe is no, because large language models, especially ChatGPT, is really good at generative AI. But so for some other tasks, as we see before, like for summarization, we don't really need, we have other open source models that perform similar or better than ChatGPT. Also, the ChatGPT is kind of, the pricing is here. So based on the number of the model you choose, there may be the price will be different. For example, the most sophisticated model, DaVinci, is about 2 cents per 1K tokens. It's about 750 words. And when you do fine tuning, you have you need to pay the charge based on the tokens in your training file times the number of training epochs. Usually it is 4. So it's a non-trivial cost to fine tune the OpenAI ChatGPT model, but there are other open source models available. At the same time, we have different machine learning tasks that we don't really need a deep learning model. And for ChatGPT kind of deep learning model, we have some concerns like lack intentions, goals, and ability to understand cause and effect. So basically, the model doesn't know what is the cause and what is the effect. It's unlike human, we learn things sequentially, cause and the effect. But for deep learning, large language models, it may not really understand the cause and the effect and the sequential order. And it might not need to understand to successfully fully perform tasks. So it can perform tasks without really understanding it. And there are also controversy that, for example, the ChatGPT, someone is able to ask like some questions like out here, like a white or Asian man would make good scientist, etc. So kind of a controversy arguments. Cool. And next is fine tuning and inference. So for fine tuning, we have really good way to fine tune a pre-trained model. For example, the Hugging Face model fine tuning. So it's relatively easy to fine tune a pre-trained model. So for example here, yeah, we can train with a PyTorch trainer, etc. So we can simply take the open source model and fine tune it with our own data. Also, we can use SageMaker as our infra to do the fine tuning. So there are the different type of instance, number of GPUs involved, and the number of memory with different pricing. So we can choose the correct infra to do other tasks. And for inference, again, we discussed this before, like NVIDIA is able to, NVIDIA Triton engine is able to speed up your inference time. So for example, with this ChatGPT J model with 6 billion parameters, with a PyTorch on one CPU, which is the benchmark, and with fast transformer with 2 A100 GPUs, we can speed up the inference process by 33 times. And the changes. So personally, I feel like the recent wave of large language models or ChatGPT brings a lot of change on how we do search. So we no longer need to search. For example, we Google something, the Google returns like 10 or 20 pages. We need to click through every page and find the information. We can simply use ChatGPT to ask with a prompt, like ask this question, and the GPT will do the work for you. So you no longer need to waste your time searching and clicking, but the AI, the AI robot is able to serve you that information. And also change how people advertise, because currently we pay Google or etc. To rank the result, but with this new search, with this new question answering type of search, the advertisement industry will be different. Also, how do we do coding, right? We can ask ChatGPT to write Python code, to write some kind of app for us. We don't really need, it improves our efficiency in coding. And finally is gather and share knowledge. So we have a better way to gather knowledge from the internet with this sophisticated deep learning model. And we can easily to obtain knowledge and share knowledge. And I feel like there are more changes going to come. For example, the DALL-E is creating image from text. So you can easily give it some prompt and generate some figures for you. So there are more changes coming. Yeah, cool. So this concludes my talk on recent development in AI, ML, and the change. The time is short, but we have a lot of things to cover. Please feel free to reach out if you have more questions, you want more discussion. And thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks, Eric, for the great presentation. And I saw actually we have some questions popping up on the chat box from Trax. Thank you, Trax. I think, yeah, you have a lot of questions on ChatGPT and machine learning and AI. So actually, Eric is based in the US, so it's like it will be quite late for him to get back to you today, but we will get him to summarize the answer for the questions that you just put into the chat box, and hopefully we can get back to you tomorrow. Is it all right? Thank you, Trax. Yeah. Okay. So next for today, like we will have Zhifeng Xie. So he's the founder and the CEO of Beijing Fundamental Technology, which is one of our platinum partners based in China. So he's an Atlassian expert. He's a truly expert, and he's very good at DevOps. So he's been in this industry for like 18 years. So he's a senior expert in software development management, open source software, and the DevOps. So he graduated from Xi'an Jiaotong University with a master's degree in computer science and has worked in senior technical management positions at companies like Siemens, Nokia, and CSDM. So in today's webinar, Zhifeng will explain to you about how ChatGPT assists us at Atlassian platform. So let's welcome Zhifeng.
Hello, everybody. Very glad to have a chance to chat the ChatGPT. Yeah, this is a very hot topic together with you. And we, yes, also have some trials on how the ChatGPT assists us when we're using the Atlassian platform. So let's start. My name is Xie Zhifeng. I'm come from the Beijing Fundamental Technology Company, and we are Atlassian platform solution partner, and we are always committed to using the new technologies to improve the software development teams. So we have supplied a lot of how to say, very professional developed solutions to our customer, and these solutions including Atlassian products, also always integrated with the very modern and powerful tools, such as the containers platform, the pipeline tools, and now we are investigating the ChatGPT. Let's start. So, firstly, we have just two parts. Firstly, we have an overview of the ChatGPT, and next we see how to using the ChatGPT when we use the Jira and Confluence. So let's start with the ChatGPT. Yes, what is it? It is a artificial, how to say, the ChatGPT is a chatbot. It launched by OpenAI company, yes, last year, November. And it is based on the GPT-3 language model. And yeah, the OpenAI is an artificial intelligence company, and it is funded, yeah, by a lot of cool guys. Yeah, you see this Sam Altman and Hoffman and Elon Musk and so on. And OpenAI have developed, yes, how to say, several language models. A language model like the GPT-3, it is like a brain, and generally it's machine learning models using for the natural language processing, and basically it's built on the neural network and have trained by a lot of materials from the internet or from the electric ebooks. Let's say the one word is OpenAI. This company has trained a lot of language models, this including the GPT-3. And using the GPT-3, yes, language models, OpenAI built a chatbot called the ChatGPT. Yeah, this is the whole story. And let's look at the OpenAI's products, and so at the bottom of it, it is a lot of the language models like the GPT-3 and the DALL-E and the Codex. Yes, Codex is yes, language models trained by the GitHub coding. So it is used for programmers to auto-pilot the program. And those models, yes, exposed by a product called the OpenAI API, which means that you can build applications using this API. This product is released, and I guess it's about 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, about 2 years ago. So there are a lot of the famous AI products built on it. And another one is the ChatGPT. It is built by the OpenAI and using also the GPT-3 models, but now it is called the GPT 3.5. This is a chatbot, but also the OpenAI exposed the capacity of the ChatGPT, why it's API. So this is the relationship between the ChatGPT, GPT-3, and OpenAI. Let's look at the OpenAI API closely, and this is 3 core concepts from the API. Firstly, it is purpose and completions. As we know, a large language model, it means that you put something that will accordingly give you some completions. Means that they will speak following you. So here, mapping to our real world, the purpose means that the questions, the completions means the answer. And the tokens means how much words, but not exactly words, but it's similar. How much words, including in your prompts and the completions. The models means yes, you know, the language models, there are a lot of models. If we look at the API closely, and we see that we, indicate the models, we give the GPT-3 prompt and give some parameters, we will get a response including the completions, means the answers, and they will tell you how much tokens you consume. Because the API is paid by the number of tokens. So this is the models that are, two very popular models is GTP3 series and Codex series. GTP3 series, there are Davinci 003 and some others. Yes, you can select the suitable one for you according the description and or according your how to say testing. And another one is important too to mention is the fine tuning. If you have your knowledge base or you have a lot of formatted data, high quality data, you can set up a customized model by upload those kind of training data to the platform, and the platform will train a new model for you. Of course, this new model will come from based on the current ones, just using your data to improve the quality on your area, on your domain. This is very useful for the applications based on the GTP, ChatGPT. So let's quickly go to the second part, how we're using the ChatGPT and how we're using it when we use the Confluence and the Jira. Before that, I have to say that an important thing is the prompt design. As we see, we want to get answer or get the completions from the ChatGPT. We have to give the ChatGPT some prompts. We ask questions. However, if you want to get the very high quality answer, you have to give high quality prompt. Somehow, if you build applications, I think how to design the prompt is very, very important, and it is the key idea to get your problem resolved. So let's say at your usage scenario, you have to using your experience to design the prompt. Firstly, you have to make your requirements clear instructs. Means that what you want, so you have to structure you have to give the ChatGPT very clear structures, and it's better to have high quality examples. So means that you must have very, very good experience at your scenarios. Then you will get good assists from the ChatGPT. So let's think about, we are doing some documentations on Confluence. Maybe you are a technical architecture. Yes, you are finishing some system design documents, or you are just how to say, IT engineering. You are, yes, finishing some technical document, or something how to add it. So if you are writing some document on the Confluence, it is to say you are a system IT architect. You want to write a system architect documents. Let's say I write prompts which give the ChatGPT very clearly instructs. Means that you have to give me and give her the product's requirements, and the ChatGPT must give me some requirements, business analysis of business requirements, and the gap and analysis, and mapping the functionalities to the IT landscape. And then you have to create a solution design and network blueprint and the system design. So my first example is I want to ChatGPT create a CMS system. So let's see how the ChatGPT do for me. So, and where is my SA? Yeah, this is my SA. Yes. Firstly, let's see how the ChatGPT act as a SA for me, and I give the instructions to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT give me some descriptions. I'm not satisfied with this answer because it is not formatted. So I clearly give the instructions more. It means that she has to give me format, chapterized it. So there are 5 chapters. Then the ChatGPT understand me and give me the descriptions, and it looks very good, chapterized, but however, the quality is not good because there are a lot of general description and a lot of questions. So I give the more clearly instructs, means that you give me answer in that instead of questions about the system details. Then the ChatGPT give me but not so bad. It's not so bad. Just say it's not so bad because ChatGPT can do some boring things to you. I think the key design have to be done by ourselves. So let's say that's good. So means that before that I'm training it. Next one, I give her a task. I need she to develop systems, and with some features like support key Kubernetes containers and automated testing. So I guess she understood the requirements and give me the formatted chapterized documents and so on. So this is examples how the ChatGPT act as the system architecture to help me to finish some documentations. And the next one I want to show is let the ChatGPT act as a system architecture to write PRD. And you see, This is the PID assistant. And for the PID assistant, and give her clear instructions, including the PID chapters, each chapters, yeah. And told her, don't answer anything until I give her a specific subject. Then I give the spec, the requirements, and I need a PID of a test management software. Yeah, this is, yes, right, the PID, it looks, yes, not so bad. And then, and another point is, as a product manager, sometimes we need to do some boring tasks. For example, we need to design some, some success error messages for a SaaS product, for the billing model of a SaaS product. And we told her create a table with 3 columns and give her very good examples. For example, if you can give more good examples, she will, yes, produce more good results. And she can give, yeah, very formatted tables and including a lot of, yeah, messages. I think it's a good start for you to start it, to help you to finish a lot of boring things. And next one, I want the ChatGPT can help me on Jira to complete some, to help me to complete the user stories. And this is the user story system, the prompt design. And here you see and design instructions to let the ChatGPT to create a formatted user story description and give her a very detailed examples. These examples, yes, including the description and the discussion details and the acceptance criteria. Yeah, and let's see the ChatGPT, how the ChatGPT works. If we look and put the instructs and the examples, and he understand, and I told her give me another features and just describe it in a very common sentence, not the user story language, and she can format it very well and give me the discussion details and acceptance criteria, and give her how to say another, yes, limitations to this feature. Means it is a user conversation, yes, during the procedure, and she can understand it well and this limitations to the whole user user stories, not only in the description but also in the acceptance criteria. And guess this is very good, how to say, very good procedure, very good steps for us. Let me design that we have a user story. We just give a general sentence in the description, and the AI will help us to finish it, describe it as a standard user story description. And if we give some additional information on the comments, then the AI also can re-describe the whole user story according to the comments. Yeah, this is very useful. Let's continue. Another very interesting point is the Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, you can let the AI to give the difficulties to AI, and then AI can guide your team. In the JSON, yes, we know as just as see, we can let the AI to write how to help us to complete Linux commands, so-called, and also the AI can, yes, we can think about it. We can give the, yes, have some fine-tuning models with our historic tickets data. Then the JSON can auto-assign the agents. The AI also can, how to say, auto-answer the customer during the extra service time slot. It is very helpful to improve the SLA quality. Yes. Yes, this is some examples. Let the ChatGPT to help us to service the customer with the Linux commands. And yeah, I want to list all disks of a Linux machine, including unmounted disk. It will give me the command and the example output. Then I want to install MySQL. I want to install MySQL 8 on CentOS 7. So here is the steps. It's exactly correct. And another one is just let the ChatGPT as my Atlassian technical support. For example, I want to list the steps to re-index conference from scratch. Then the AI also can give me the exactly steps. And I think this is very helpful. And those templates in the Jira, you can see, in the Jira, we can describe the story very generally in the tickets in our user stories, and we enable the AI to analytics. Then the AI will re-describe the user story as the standard user story description. Oh, it's this product is sometimes very slow in China, and you see they have instructs, they have description improvements, and they have definition of done and the test strategies. Yes, it's slow. Yeah, we can see the result on my PowerPoint. Yeah, it's like this. And another one is we can use it in the conference. In the conference, we see that, yes, we enter a page. When we edit it, we can add some, we can add some macros. Yes, AI assistant. Then we publish it, and we will ask. For example, we will put the prompts here, and then put here. We want to give me some please art PRD. Yeah. Then she will answer it under here. So it is very slow. You can get the description here and reformat it. Yes, we are design our product and design our user experience, and I hope we can find a very good integration part, product design to integrate the ChatGPT within the conference and Jira, and will help you to generate documents service your customer. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Zhifeng, for the great presentation. And I saw some questions popping up, and I hope Abramaniam, sorry, if I pronounce your name in a wrong way. So I hope your question has been answered, but if not, just feel free to just type into the Q&A box, and we will try to get back to you in more details. Okay, and Trax, I know you have many questions, and I will leave the question to Zhifeng, and he will get back to you later. Okay, so last but not least, let's get back to our presentation, and we will have Nicro Yu. Nicro is the Chief Agile Management Lead with a solid Agile transformation and the technical background. He's aimed to uplift the efficiency through transparency culture and reduce silos by driving a modern way of working. So he served across retail, financial, telecom, innovation, and the public sector, and to bring a bridge up business and the IT delivery ever closer. So Nicro is also our Atlassian community lead in Hong Kong. So Nicro will share with you the practical use case from conceptual to structural software delivery between ChatGPT and Jira. So Nicro, yes, you are up.
Thanks, Kelly, for hosting this session. So my name is Nicro. In this session, I'm going to share some practical use cases with ChatGPT. Like how do we leverage the tools to do digital transformation, and also defining the requirements so that everyone layman enough to understand. So here's my little agenda today. So we will start by some simple use cases, and then we will go on to the more detailed transformation use cases with both ChatGPT and also Jira, and then we will summarize by some limitations and some suggestions moving on forward. Okay, so I believe you heard a lot, and also you see a lot from the previous session on what kind of ability ChatGPT is doing. So now I have a very simple use cases. I got a phone book, and it's a digital phone book. And on the first column, I got all the contact number from the contact, and I want to identify what kind of country from the contact. So it's a very simple use cases. I got a list of data, first column containing the number, and I want to have a user story to identify the country code from the contact number. So here I copy the entire questions, and then go on for the ChatGPT, ignore the previous question for now. So I just paste the questions like, okay, let me reload it again. Maybe some timeout. Okay, here I get exactly the same question to ChatGPT, and then I ask them to whether it can turn into a user story format. So before the meeting, I already defined the user story format to at least get the acceptance criteria, the description. So you can understand how does it go, and also how the value you can extract. So here, I obviously didn't tell ChatGPT about the background, so they make up some scenario. I'm a data analyst, and I want to identify the country code, blah blah blah. So here's the logic, and also here's the assessment criteria. The system should be able to identify the code, and then to match the country, etc. And well, this is a little bit super B, because well, they actually help me to do the corner case and also some exception handling, like how to when it's not identified, what kind of error message should be. And then they also give out the values. Like this user story will enable the data analysis to easily identify and extract the country code, etc. So, well, isn't that cool? I mean, from the simple single field lines of requirement, and the requirement can be quite scattered, as you can see. I got point form, I got blanket, I got only a very limited background, and I asked them to get the data from the first column and put in the second column. Isn't it great? So, well, how are we going to leverage the user story from here? Of course, you can pass on the user story to the developer, and then to someone else to how to handle the task with. But in this scenario, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, like, turn this into Excel formula. And here they're trying to do, what they're trying to do is like, wow, it's actually in a code format. So you can easily copy that out. And then they're trying to explain you the function. I mean, using the left to extract the first two character, and then to see what does it what does it make up for, and also to compare the scenario, blah blah blah. So, and then if it doesn't match any case, it got an invalid. You can actually ask them, well, why you're using A12 instead of A13. But well, I think at least you got the idea like how the ChatGPT can turn that into Excel formula. And in my previous like a tryout with ChatGPT, actually get a formula catering both scenario and explain, and also tells you how do you drag it to the column B and make that working. So well, let's do something even more complicated. So I'm not going to ask the same question to ChatGPT, but I'll ask them how to define what is digital transformation, and then they give me the answer like how do we streamline and then to how the business operate, and also how do we save time to analytic, organization structure, culture, etc. Why I'm asking this question? Because in the next scenario, I'm going to ask them to turn our traditional supermarkets into a transformation use case in the modern world. So here we go back to the ChatGPT, and can you suggest the value stream of a traditional supermarket? So it come up with some different areas of focus. Like the first one is inventory. The second one is sales and customer management, supply chain. Of course, you need to like, how do we do the logistic, marketing, promotion, or like I mean, you have discount on every weekday or Wednesday, etc. So it give us 4 possible value stream, and well, if that's not enough, you can always ask for more. So can you give 3 more examples? The reason why we start off with the value stream is because, well, it actually, when you think of value stream, you will think of like how the business operate and how do we capture the value out of the value stream. It helps when you're doing the digital transformation, because, well, no matter what you're trying to do, you're trying to either like bringing extra value to the consumer or to the business, or you're saving each other time, or you provide a media that you can scale up your business. So you got like 7 point now, like store operation, assortment, and also technology and innovation. So what I'm trying to do next is, before we jump up to the actual practical delivery, I'd like to like recap a little bit. So in Jira, we will have a very standard structure like epic for the overall idea, what we're trying to achieve out of that epic. And then in each epic, we can break down a different story, and each story will define to different tasks so that the developer can handle with. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to generate this hierarchy out of the value stream. So let me scroll to the bottom. Can you suggest the epic? Okay, maybe from the first 4 value stream you suggested. Wow, actually turn out into different focus. Like the first one is customer experience, and then they formulated the epic, like improving the checkout, enhancing the customer service, streamlining the product return, etc. Okay, so because we're doing a practical one, maybe we can ask them to elaborate a little bit more. Okay, let's see if that take as the epic. Okay, it got it. Like understanding customer needs and preference. Okay, and then it give you a more in-depth and also sample-based result. So what I'm going to do now is that, well, because we got an epic, we got a framework, so maybe we can just do like a very simple showcases, improving the checkout experience. So let me create an epic, improve checkout experience. So now I got to focus for a team, like what we're trying to do out of this epic. Of course, you can always like to expand a little bit further. Well, we're actually still writing. Okay, so can you give me 3 sample user stories of improving, and then each with a title, summary, descriptions, and acceptance criteria. Well, because normally, when you're thinking of the test cases, when you're doing like acceptance testing or functional testing, you will probably want to cover a little bit more. So this is why I'm asking them to give a very structured user story. So you can see it give out the title, like streamlining the checkout process, and also the summary. This is exactly just like copy and pasting the content to the Jira. So right now, let me go into do that. So let me create a user story. So I got a summary here, and then, oh, sorry, it's title. And then I copy the description as well. And also I have a acceptance criteria. Well, it actually gives me mobile channel and also the other channel. Well, I mean, the more you get to ChatGPT, the more concrete or more related answer you will get. So in this case, I'll just create like that. Okay, I now got a user story over there, and then we, I mean, for time, for the time constraint, I'll just keep on during on the first user story. So can you suggest 2 tasks for the developer in the first user story? Of course, in innovation world or in the real world, it should be the developer, understanding your requirement and suggesting. But in this showcase, I'm going to like a demo from the end-to-end perspective. So it got a checkout requirement, like updating the checkout software, implementing the contactless payment options. It also got a task. Of course, if you are a hands-on developer, you may probably to down to the like database table and also the front end, the back end, the middle end changes, API changes, etc. But roughly, you got the idea like how ChatGPT are able to give you the framework to do so. So the next one is, well, after all the user story has been suggested, we can probably ask even complicated questions like, okay, if I am also owning the logistics system, or logistic company, how can I integrate with the supermarket system? So right now, what I'm asking is a more complicated scenario. So we have one ecosystem in the supermarket. I'm asking, well, I actually got another ecosystem in logistics company, and more importantly, how does these two ecosystems merge with each other, and then to build up a more macro ecosystem point of view. So it suggests a different area of integration. Of course, first of all, maybe the inventory management, and then the delivery tracking, fulfillment, and consumer loyalty. So they're actually thinking of like making both consumer, across both systems. So here's is like the ability of ChatGPT, and it's quite amazing, isn't it? Like they actually help to frame and also help to suggest what kind of pinpoint that you're using. So practically, well, if we are doing, back to the Jira perspective, imagine that one team is actually helping on the supermarket delivery, and on the other hand, the other team focusing on the logistics system, where we can actually running like a Scrum or the Scale Agile perspective. How do we do the sprint planning, and how do we go on for the roadmap planning for both? But today I'm not going to like showcase both of the system scenario and how do we form the roadmap. But definitely this is something that I can see is visible to the next step, and then putting it more even forward. So we have showcased the complex scenario. So what we're going to do now is to review and also to summarize the limitation that we faced during the demo. So basically, ChatGPT can do recommendations and suggestions, but of course, they can only suggest how to implement that and what to be considered, but it cannot do like a stakeholder engagement or even manage project plan and like providing different file source code and then ask you to compile. I think those last touch or those human interaction will still on demand, or still rely on human being to handle the logistic with. So this is point number one. And for point number two, well, of course, the more information you share to ChatGPT, the more precise result you may got. But at the same time, there may be data confidential issue, sensitive information, etc. that may really limit it to how they're going to respond to you. And the third point, ChatGPT is making the suggestions based on their common knowledge, but not particularly something that your organization or your team is facing. So it cannot be very tailor-made. Well, on the other hand, you may probably give them a feeling of like how the roles and responsibility of different teammates or across the organization, but it's like a huge amount of effort. So worth it or not, you need to really consider that. And last but not least, ChatGPT can only take in the input text. They cannot evaluate your emotion, and also they cannot add very empathetically to the situation and your question on that. So those four are some limitations that I think we actually reflected during the demo. So what's next? So my suggestion is, well, ChatGPT can offer you some quick outline or quick framework for whatever problem that you're going to solve. My suggestion is don't rely too much on that. So you can rely on the ChatGPT for a framework for like a brainstorming or some double checking. Is that something that you missed out during your discussion or your storming session? Well, but don't just copy and paste, because every product will have the product's own characteristic. If you're running as a product owner or product manager of that, you should know better than the ChatGPT, because you understand what kind of target segment, how the return on investment, how the value really contributed. So this is number one. Number two, I think ChatGPT can really integrate with other tools. For example, we were using Jira. ChatGPT can actually can do even better. Like if I ask them, well, can you help me to convert the user story into a Jira ticket of blah, blah, blah project? And if that can be automatically done, then I can start on editing from that onward. I think this is number 2, just an example. And number 3, the collaboration features. Well, right now, I'm still having the chat like with ChatGPT one-to-one perspective. It doesn't contain my teammates. It doesn't contain the people who are working on that after the framework is defined. So if we can really collaborate on top of the ChatGPT, for example, hey, ChatGPT, help me to send this user story to Timothy, and he will start working on that. Or you can ask ChatGPT, can this user story can pass to the product experience team so that they can provide the wireframe or some mockup. I think this is a really cool feature if that's possible. So number 4, personalizing, like what I did for the before the demonstration. I actually told ChatGPT I want the user story to come up with a title, some summary, some acceptance criteria, so that they really generate a user story based on what I provided as a personalized framework. And the last but not least is a machine reasoning. So throughout the conversation, we have input many different contexts, and each of them, ChatGPT will generate the corresponding response. But if they are trying to push on to the next level, they can actually look into all the questions I asked, and then to predict what I really want to resolve, or to predict some next coming question that I may be having. I think that will be great. More intelligent, more interactive, and more fruitful. Okay, so I think that's all for my sharing today. I hope you have enjoyed lesson. And if you have any question regarding for the material I shared, feel free to contact me through our LinkedIn or in the Atlassian Community Hong Kong chapter. So you can reach me out at LecroU. So you can I can back to the we can keep in touch from there. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Great stuff. Thank you, Nico. That's really great. So I think some of the content from Nico actually answers some questions from our audience. So if not, please let us know if you have more questions, and we will get back to you after this session. Okay. So so now we are at the end of today's session. Atlassian actually has grown from a software company with a market value of about like $4 million to a global software leader with a market value of about 100 billion, like in about 5 years. So it is like inseparable from the trust of our users. You guys, thank you for your support. And we also want to take this opportunity to thank all the teams and the users who chooses Atlassian products. We hope that our tools can bring you more inspiration, subvert the old working method, and reshape new management concepts. So let us work together and use software to change the world. So that's pretty much all of today. And after this, you will see the survey for today's webinar. And if you have any questions, again, you can put into the survey, and we will try to reply to you after this session. This survey is quite important for us because it will help us improve our webinars moving forward. Like Trax just said, like we want, maybe some of you guys want to hear something about like ChatGPT fine-tuning or some other topics. Just feel free, just let us know, and we will try our best to accommodate your needs. Okay. And so thank you very much for those who joining today's session, and I hope all the content can be beneficial for you in your daily work and for your life as well. So thank you all for participating today's webinar, and we hope you all the best, and hopefully we will see you in our next one. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye.